Headlines and subheadlines, yeah, they need to be great. After load speed, they're possibly one of the most important conversion elements of our landing pages, so let's get to it. Headlines really are the it factor, okay? On average, close to 90% of your viewers are going to stay and read more of your message, or they're going to give up entirely based on those few words alone, okay? So we want to get the most bang for our buck with our headlines and spend as much time or more on our headline as we do the entire rest of the sales page or the lead generation page itself. The reason I say sales page is many copywriters, even after writing 3,000 to 5,000 word sales letters, will spend more time on the headlines, that small little piece of text at the very beginning, than they do creating the entire rest of the copy itself. It's that important to conversions. What we want to do with our subheadlines is appeal to the skimmers, okay? Just like 90% of people are going to decide based on the headline whether they're going to continue reading our copy, about 90% of people are going to skim, even a short landing page. They're not going to read word for word at the first go. They're going to look at that bold text. They're going to look at the stuff that stands out in bigger fonts, that sort of thing, okay? So subheadlines are really, really key as well. They're the highlighted text that viewers absorb rapidly. So what we want to do here is we want to be specific with our subheadlines, and we want to focus on benefits. Again, asking ourselves, what's in it for me? What's in it if I'm in the shoes of my reader? What's in it for me? So when we put them together, the job of the headline is to invoke curiosity. That's it, okay? What is going to make people want to read further? And the subheadlines are going to support the curiosity, but giving some specific benefits as a way of backing things up a little bit. So when we put all this together, what it means is we want to make sure that our headline and our subheadlines all by themselves convey the message. Okay, so somebody skimming your lead page should be able to read just the headline and just the subheadlines and understand what's in it for them and whether or not it's something they want to pursue. Now, to create great headlines, don't worry about it. Don't get stressed. You don't need to be a copywriter. You don't need to hire one. You don't need any specific skills. There's lots of free tools online. Let's check out one right now. You'll see the link right below. It's the website page itself, contentrow.com. You can just go there and find this. It's called the Link Bait Title Generator, a bit of a funny name, but let's have a look at what it does for us. Okay, so we go right here, and here we are inside the page. And if we just want to enter a subject, okay, what's the topic of our lead magnet? Let's say we're doing something on dog training. Get link bait, and you just get all of these options. Just spit right out at you, okay? 8 things the media hasn't told you about dog training. 10 ways dog training can help you live life to 100. 8 deadly uses for dog training. 7 things Lady Gaga has in common with dog training. Okay? Lots of ideas. None of them may be absolutely perfect, but they'll definitely get you thinking about something that makes a lot of sense for your particular headline. Now, some of the specific headline tips to discuss. You'll notice in the previous slide, when we shared that page, some things in common with a lot of those headlines. There was a lot of use of numbers, there was a lot of use of specifics, and there was a lot of things about curiosity. You know, how does dog training help me live to 100? You know, what does Lady Gaga know about dog training, for example? But lots of things like 8 ways. Very, very specific, numbers based. These tend to convert, they tend to invoke curiosity. Now, remember always what the main goal of your headline is, okay? Just to get people to read through. That's it. It's got one job, okay? That's all it's got to do. It doesn't have to tell people everything they're going to get. It just has to get people curious enough to find out more. So you can even shock them a little bit. You can challenge them, or you can argue against something that most people already believe. Anything it takes to arouse curiosity, obviously without being offensive, crossing any lines and all that sort of thing. I never recommend being unethical in your marketing at all, but a little bit of shock factor can go a long way. Now, when we get into subheadlines, what makes them powerful is the fact that they really deliver the message. Okay, this is their goal. We're going to do it by focusing on benefits and specific results, again designed for skimmers. If a skimmer just read my subheadlines, would they get an idea of what's in it for them? That's super important. So what do we include? Well, specific results. Results of myself or other people using the system or the lead magnet that I'm enticing them with numbers where possible. You know, I used Mark's dog training lessons and taught Fido how to roll over in 3 days. You know, that sort of thing. Authority quotes or testimonials. We'll be getting into testimonials in a little bit. And always, 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 what's in it for them? What are the benefits to the person for giving you their email information? Now, what we've covered in this very important section is what the number one goal of your headline is and always has to be. Where to get some great headline ideas, and that's just one free tool. There's other free online tools as well. You can just do some searches, and there's another 2 or 3 out there at least that will give you plenty of ideas to get working with. And best practices for subheadlines, remembering it's always about the benefit. Now, what do we do to move forward? Well, you should do a search for squeeze pages relevant to your niche, or landing pages, lead generation pages relevant to your niche. You want to start seeing some examples of what the competition is doing. Okay, start exploring, paying special attention to headlines and subheadlines. And I always recommend creating what I call a swipe file. It can just be a notepad doc on your computer where you take headlines and subheadlines that you really find compelling, curiosity invoking, or that really convey a great benefit, and just start collecting them. Okay, because this is really going to add to those power words and tools that you've been collecting, and it's really going to help you when it comes to crafting these headlines. Okay, so that's it. Very important section. I'd suggest you go back and review, and definitely practice by looking at squeeze pages relevant to your niche and start getting some ideas.